Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the debut episode of UCW-Zero.
Looking forward to this second match, pitting two competitors against each other, one being the man who's about to make his way to the ring, the Deacon of Doom.
The Deacon of Doom, of course, has been in the UCW world for about going on 2 years, and, well, wait a minute, we got a little, well, kind of a sneak attack here from Chip, and this match is getting started a little earlier than we thought, Jeff.
Well, you can tell by his ring attire, Chip lives an alternative lifestyle, as we could say.
Yeah, an alternative from fashion, but keep going.
The rainbow-clad warrior and the more straightforward conservative Deacon of Doom. Very contrast in styles, contrast in lifestyles. This should be a very interesting matchup. I don't know how to describe that.
And you know what? We'll let the folks at home kind of describe it on their own. As Deacon, of course, is a more punishable, and I guess we're going to say Chip is more sensitive in his form.
Yeah, you could say that, but I'm really surprised with the aggressiveness that Chip is showing in the early going. What a clothesline.
It brings a whole new definition of passive-aggressive.
Very good point.
Ooh, what a boot. And with the boots with the fur, I guess. I don't... Chip is definitely alternative, I'll give you that one.
I'm pretty intrigued by the stockings, I'm not going to lie to you. Looks for the super kick, one of his go-to moves, but oh, look at those stinging right hands and the point of the elbow into the forehead of Chip.
That is just classic Deacon of Doom. There's no doubt about that. Those three punches, and a little disco, and then the elbow to the forehead right there to take down his opponent and swing motivation back into his way as the Deacon with the body slam right there.
Well, Deacon prides himself on being old school. Most of the fans would just consider him to be old.
Well, you know, to each their own, I guess. Some guys can still keep it going. As the Deacon going with the choke here.
A blatant choke. Zach, referee trades, needs to get Deacon off the throat.
I thought he was going to go for the pin there, but I was wrong. Lately, Jeff, the Deacon of Doom has been on a crusade against sin, and I'm going to go ahead and say that Chip, in his alternative ways, is probably one of the things that the Deacon would like to take out, especially with that DDT right there.
Yeah, beautiful DDT. The Deacon of Doom recently turned against his God Squad, and now he's on a personal crusade against sin, and that crusade is obviously being instigated against Chip for his alternative lifestyle, which offends the Deacon.
This is a much more aggressive Deacon of Doom than we have seen in the past few months, and it was demonstrated by the choke earlier in the match, and then of course right there when the Deacon was using the ropes to his advantage, and then Chip going into the sleeper.
Sleeper with a little bit of a little swivel of the hips. Oh, and a clothesline to the back of the head. Follows it up with a stiff kick to the back. And the rainbow-clad warrior could have the Deacon on Dream Street. Body slam, and it looks like he wants to go up to the top rope and put this match away early.
Not sure if that's going to be smart, Jeff. He's going a little bit too early. I think the Deacon still has some fight in him.
And you called it. And the Deacon catches him in midair with a clothesline. Looks like him caught him right under the jaw.
Looks like he may have had the wind knocked out of him, Jeff.
Yeah, the Deacon's got a good opportunity here. He needs to further the offensive advantage and put Chip away.
The crowd clearly behind Chip here. Deacon not having any of it.
Deacon screwing with the right hands in the corner. Trades needs to get the Deacon out of the corner. Another shoot off. And one of Deacon's trademark moves. He looks for the sidewalk slam and scores with it. That could be it. And Chip kicks out.
Talking about Deacon with that sidewalk slam, what I've noticed is that in Deacon's technique and his style, he's much more of a striker. He much prefers to do kicks or throw punches or throw elbows. You don't really necessarily see him do a lot of grapples or submissions. You'll mostly see him throw strikes.
Yeah, well, when I think of Deacon's offense, I think it's bowling shoe ugly, but quite effective, as you can see right here.
So just bowling shoe ugly. Are we going to compare Chip's outfit to bowling shoes? Which one would you rather wear, Jeff?
I don't know how to answer that, to be completely honest.
It's okay. No one else did either. The Deacon, of course, with Chip here in the corner. Deacon's pretty confident in himself, let's be honest.
He's strutting around the ring. He thinks he's got this match well under control, but he needs to hit something big to put Chip away, and I don't think the eye rake is going to get it done. You know, Deacon, for a holy guy, he sure breaks the rules quite significantly.
Well, you know, it's just one of those things. I guess you can call it human nature, any way to get the advantage. You know what? I'm sure that if you talk to him after the show, he'd tell you that himself. He'd probably quote a few verses, too.
Oh, scraping the shoelaces of his boot against the forehead of Chip. Chip trying to mount some offense, trying to fight back.
That's what you got to love about these two competitors. Motivation can just switch just like that, just at the snap of a finger or the tip of a hat. It's just that quick. As Chip here, oh my gosh.
Picked him up for a tombstone and dropped him straight south.
And that's Chip's personal pin technique. Not necessarily something that you learn in our UCW-Zero training school.
And it looks like it's got the Deacon off his game as well. He's looking at the ref, asking, is that legal?
And you know what, Jeff? You can ask anybody. This is just as much a mind game as it is a physical one.
And Deacon looks like he's completely off. He's literally and figuratively throwing in the towel, and that is the match.
Wow.
You don't see that ending to a match all the time. The Deacon literally forfeiting by throwing in the white towel.
Interesting. Very interesting technique by the Deacon's part. Definitely not one that I thought I would.
Let's hear what he has to say.
Wait just a minute, brother. The Deacon's got a word of prophecy to speak to you. Does anybody in here mind if the Deacon speaks a word of prophecy? Yes, Chip, we're all children of God. And God has given us all choices. Calm down, brother. You won the match. You won the match. God has given us all choices. And Chip, your sexuality is a choice. You were not born this way, Chip. The Lord does not want you this way. So Chip, why? You live a painful and depressed life. You don't know who you are. But tonight, the Deacon wants to show you that you can. I'm going to ask you to go to your knees. That's not what I meant. I'm going to ask you to
Deacon, normally a man of many words, but
please, go down, please. Stay right there, Chip. Chip, do you want to come home to the street right now? Chip, I baptize you in the name of the Creator and the Redeemer. And finally, I know the water's cold, Chip, but take the last one. The Sustainer. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Chip, the straight guy. Give it up for Chip.
I'm having a hard time believing what I'm seeing. It looks like the sermon of the Deacon has persuaded Chip to turn against his lifestyle.
yeah, well, the Deacon is a very powerful man in both physicality and, mentality, spirituality, and he's somehow persuade Chip to leave his alternative lifestyle. I'm just as, and that just seems uncalled for.
They are beating up a fan. And this is definitely a new Chip in the same old Deacon. And a significant victory in the Deacon's personal crusade against sin.
Yeah, the Deacon may have lost the battle, but he may have won the war.
The holy war.
More to come here on UCW-Zero.